In this video, we'll consider data import from text files into the R statistical software system. A lot of data is stored in text format, such as the comma-separated variable format, or text delimited format, in particular tab delimited formats. In R, there is a function read.csv which is used to load in data that is stored in a CSV file. Let us consider some data from the English Premiership, which we've got stored in this file e0.csv. So there are a large number of columns, and here there are 10 rows corresponding to the first 10 results of the season. So to load this data into R, we use the function read.csv. Now the first argument that we supply to the function is the file name, which we put in quote marks as it's a string that we want to be interpreted as a file location. Because the data file is in the working directory of this session, we do not need to specify an absolute or relative directory. So if we press enter at this point with our command, as we haven't saved the data to a data frame object, it gets printed to the screen, which is the default action from R in this situation. Now let's say we wanted to save this to a data frame so that we could use it for further analysis. We simply use the up arrow to bring back the previous command and put in the name of an object such as Premiership 0809, and then we put that equals the read.csv command. So here nothing is printed to the screen, which indicates there were no errors, and this object is now stores those football results that we loaded in from the e0.csv file. So an alternative file format would be the tab delimited text file. So in this case we make use of the read.table function. This is very similar to the read.csv, but because it can handle a wider range of delimited text files, we have to specify some additional information. So first up, we call the function read.table. First argument is the name of the data. So in this case, we're going to look at some data on vegetable production in the UK, which is stored in the file vegetable.txt. So if we open up this file, we can see that there are tabs separating the different columns of data. So we have 4 columns that we want to import. So the first argument was the file name. In this case, the second argument is to tell R what type of delimiter is used to separate the columns. So this argument we specify as SEP for separator, and then the /t indicates that it's a tab that's used to separate the data. Our third argument is header equals true. By default, the first row is not assumed to contain column headings for the read.table function, so we need to flip this over to header equals true to indicate that the first row does contain the headers. So if we hit enter, we can now see that the data has been loaded in and the tab separator has been interpreted to split up the data into separate columns.